Hi there and welcome to my video demonstration of the benefits of using AutoCAD Plant 3D 2021. My name is Chris Dowling, Application Engineer for Man & Machine, and this demonstration is going to be a quick flyover tour of all the features and functionality, or the main features and functionality within Plant 3D. Okay, so let's begin. So here we have a Plant 3D project and I have opened the P&ID drawing. So first of all, Plant 3D, it manages your drawings in a project. So you have one project that can keep all the P&ID drawings, 3D drawings, specifications for the project, and any other related files such as PDFs, structural drawings, maybe reference drawings. Any file you like can be kept in that folder there. We also have a section here for orthographic drawings and a section here for isometric drawings. So the project manager manages all your drawings for you, keeps them nice and neatly within this interface here, and we can see that it stores the drawings in set locations on Windows. Maybe it's a network drive, maybe it's your local drive, maybe it's a cloud storage drive of some sort. But yes, basically the project manager enables you to open and find and review all your drawings without having to leave Plant 3D. So here we have a very simple P&ID drawing. Let's create another new drawing, and I'll call this PID 002. That's a good thing to note there. You can see that actually I have a file name format which can be enforced by the project settings there. Okay, so I have two subsections to my file name, and we'll see. So my first section is the file type, and the second section is just the number of the drawing in this case. We can see that my drawing border has a bunch of fields within them. Those fields are either linked to project properties, i.e. project name, or project could be a drawing property like drawing number, and those can be filled in via the properties of either the drawing or the project. And when you fill those out, they will populate the drawing automatically. So maybe this can be DWG001, and I will click OK and save the drawing, and you'll see DWG001 is now populated down the bottom here. You can see the area field there. Right click, properties, drawing area, area 20. Click OK again, just to save the drawing so it refreshes the drawing, and there you see area 20 populates. So yeah, we can have fields for projects and fields for drawing properties as well. Let's just switch it to my model space here. So I've got this little rectangle here which defines the space that I should be working in for my P&ID. And let's switch to my P&ID environment. So within Plant 3D you have a bunch of default workspaces given to you. Some are 3D, some are P&ID, some are normal AutoCAD drafting annotation 3D workspaces there. So all these are given to you out of the box. I've done nothing with them at all. So let's switch here to the P&ID workspace, and we can see now we have a bunch of P&ID tools at the top here, and we've got some P&ID symbols on the right hand side here. I've just docked that tool palette there. And then I'm going to first of all assign a spec. I'm going to go for a CS carbon steel pressure class 300, so that's CS 300, and I'm going to size my pipe to 100 millimeters. Then I'm going to select draw. Now this is a spec driven project. You can either have a spec driven or non-spec driven project, but as this is a spec driven project, I can specify the spec of the pipe prior to placing it. And when I want to assign a tag to the pipe, assign a tag, you can see that the size and spec has already been populated because they are part of my tag. The other parts of my tag are drawing service, which I'm going to go for drinking water there, and then the number, which I'm going to go for 2001, for example. If I want to place the annotation afterwards, I can select that, and I can choose from 3 different types of annotations. Again, these are all out of the box. You can create your own annotations, create your own tagging schemes. It's completely customizable. Okay, so there's my annotation placed like so. Okay, if I hover over it, it tells me there that is the tag of that pipe. So let's go ahead and place some valves. Let's place a gate valve maybe over here. What we can see is the gate valve picks up the size from the line. You can see it's broken the line to fit the valve in the line, and it's picked the next number in the database. It's also telling me whether it's normally open or normally closed. So we could change that state to a normally closed if we choose, and then it will change the symbol, and it eventually updates the annotation to match. Okay, again, let's place another, let's go for a ball valve this time. Let's place it on a vertical line this time. You'll see that the valve rotates in line with the line. You'll see that it picks, again, the next number in line. You can see the size attribute and the normally open and normally closed attributes populate automatically. If I pick up the valve and move it across over here, you'll see the valve rotates automatically. Again, it repairs the line when you move it off the line. As you can see, it's lost the size attribute because it's not a part of that line anymore, and it breaks the line and picks up the size attribute again. If I was to change the size by reassigning the tag, that's one way of changing the size. You could change the properties of the line if you want. Either way is fine. What you'll see is the size changes on both valves automatically. Okay, so again, if I wanted to put a line on here, let's just do a drop down maybe from here to here. Let's go for a fitting, and let's go for a reducer, and I'll pop that on here. What you'll see is that because I'd already specified that line as being 100 mil, you can see it's picked up that it was 100 mil. So let's just reassign that tag there. Let's set it to 200. There we go. And you saw that when I reassigned it, it actually flipped the reducer back the right way, as well as update the attribute like so. So let's go ahead and start to place some equipment now. So I'm going to switch over on my tool palette here to my equipment tab and go for horizontal pump like so. And I'll pop that down there maybe, pick the next line or the next number in the database, and we can see here that these are the existing numbers already used in my database. So I'll click assign. Number 3 is okay. Go for that one there. And if I wanted to connect this line to the pump, I can select the line, and you can see there's a little plus button there to extend the line, and I can extend it to the pump. And I can check that the pump is properly connected, because when I highlight or hover over a line, it highlights the entire group like so, and it lets me see what is connected in that group. Okay, if I want to start a new line, I'm going to create a new line. This one can be 100. I'll start the new line, and I'll connect it to this nozzle of the pump and draw it somewhere like that. Looks good to me. And we can assign this one. So this is a new group now I'm creating. This can be drinking water as well, and we'll go for 2002. Again, we can look at what we've used here, and we can see those are the existing tags that we've used. So 2002 would be the next number I'd like to use. Assign, and click that down like so. And let's go for a vessel of some sort. Let's go for this kind of vessel. So this particular P&ID symbol, it allows me to scale it along the X and the Z axes. So I can size it as I place it. Again, pick the next number in the database. Again, I can have a look at the existing numbers, and I can assign the tag and place the annotation afterwards. If I want to expand this P&ID line, I can bring it down and connect it to my vessel, and you can see that it automatically nozzles perfectly. The nozzles, they do have a dynamic grip on them, which allows me to change the type of nozzle. In a similar fashion, actually, the valves do as well, so I could change the type of valve from these dynamic grips like so. And let's just place a valve on here, shall we? Let's just have a valve. We can see it's a 100mm line, so when we click on it, 100mm valve, HA107, that's the next one in the database. Yeah, and it's all working nicely. We can go for some fittings here. So we've done a reducer, haven't we? Let's go with a blind flange on the end here, maybe, like so. We could have, let's go for extending this line here and bringing it down, and just drop it in somewhere like that and then attach it like that. Now you can see the line has put a break in automatically. If I turn the grid off, you'll be able to see that even clearer. Yeah, so it's put the break in automatically. So an extra bit of functionality there. If I was to move this line, let's just grab that bit there. I can grab it by the grip, that's it, second time lucky, and move it over there. And you can see I can grab it by the grip, move it. So there's some nice functionality in there that keeps everything easy to use. Okay, so there's a couple of lines, a couple of valves, a couple of pieces of equipment. All the while in the background, we have a database being built up. Okay, so if we check the database here, the data manager, we can see, if we look at the current P&ID, which is selected at the top there, we can see what equipment we've got. We can see what pumps we've got, tanks we've got, inline assets, yeah, so hand valves, pipe fittings, it's all there in this database. If we wanted to, we could export this database. We can also look at the entire P&ID project, so we can look at all the tanks in the entire project. Yeah, so we've got tank 1, 2 and 3, and we can see the drawing numbers there. Hasn't been populated for my first drawing, but it has for my second drawing that we just created. So what happens when we export this database? Well, we can export it as a, let's just do the inline assets for now, shall we? We can export it as a, let's do the lines. In fact, let's do the line groups. That's a good one to do. So we've got a load of line groups in here. You can see line number. And we can actually populate things manually from within here. Like so. We've got a nominal size here. That would be different to the nominal size, wouldn't it? So yeah, you can see here it's not going to allow me to put in the same number twice, so we could change that to 2003 and then put that as 200 in there as well. There we go. So if we click on that button there, it should take us directly to that pipe. There we go. There's my pipeline. If I click on this one here, it takes us straightly to that pipeline and highlights it. And that one's my 100mm one, so I'll put there 100mm. If I want to look at the tank, for example, I can click on here. Actually opens the P&ID that's relevant and finds the tank for me. Okay. So it's very intuitive. Quickly navigate around your drawing. And we were going to do a quick export here, weren't we? So let's have a quick look. Let's export this pipeline group. Let's just go for, no, let's do hand valves actually. Hand valves is a good one to do. So let's export that to a Excel, and we'll do active node only. And we'll put that on my desktop. And click OK. So that then exports that as an Excel database. And let's have a quick look at that then. There's my database. Let's open up my Excel database. There's all the data. This isn't a report as such, it's really just an export of the database. And we can actually change some of these properties. and populate our database from here. So we can populate some of this data within our Excel database, save that away, and actually import that back into our plant project. So let's bring up our database again and import from our desktop. There it is. Select OK. And you can see that all the changes have been highlighted in yellow. Yeah. And we can go through and actually view the changes on the P&ID as well. They get clouded, like so, with a nice red cloud, so you can see what's changed. And you can go through, clicking on each one. It zooms straight away to the one that's affected and shows you the cloud, like so. And basically you go through and check the changes and make sure they're okay. Once you're happy with that, you can click each one and accept, or you can click accept all, and the changes will be made permanent and save them into your project. So really powerful tool to be able to work with that data manager like that. So let's now go to the 3D side of things. Let's have a look at our 3D model here. Here's a 3D model. And we can see that it basically is this P&ID here from the first page. Yeah, you get 2 pumps, 2 tanks, some valves, and we can actually see the data's populated like so. If I hover over each valve, it tells me the tag, the size, etc. Same with the tank, it tells me the tank number. If I hover over a nozzle, we'll click on a nozzle. Let's go for this nozzle over here. That's a solid block that's been converted into a plant part. That's a nozzle there. We can have a look at that nozzle by looking at the properties. We can see it's nozzle 2, and we can see some things and information about that nozzle in here. Okay, if I click on the tank, you can see that's a piece of equipment. You can see the tank number, some information about that there. Again, this is all a database. All the properties are stored in the database. So let's start to create some more 3D geometry from our second P&ID. So let's switch to my 3D workspace here, and we're going to look at my P&ID line list. So what we can do in Plant 3D is we can use the P&ID to give us our information for 3D. Okay, so let's have a look at the P&ID line list there, and we can see this is P&ID 001. And obviously we've just been working on the 002, so let's change that to P&ID 002. And there's my 2 lines that I've got, my 2001 and my 2002. And if we expand those, we can see there's my 2 lines. Okay, so let's look at placing tank 3 first of all. So let's create some equipment. And we'll just create a standard tank, and we'll just give it the number tank 3. Again, we can have a look at what's already applied. We've got tank 1. So let's click and assign there, and let's create, let's have a look at the size here. Let's go with a diameter of, I think, 1200 and a height of 2 meters. So these are basically parametric shapes. So in Plant 3D, you get a whole load of parametric shapes given to you to use as pieces of equipment. So they'll create that first of all. So there's my tank. So let's go along the, let's place it around about here. So that's about 15,000, and then tab it, and then let's say 5 meters along the Y. Yeah, that'll do. And then place it down like so. Let's just put it a little bit in the air, not flat on the ground like so. Let's put it a little bit, let's say 1 meter high. So there's my new tank. Let's now place a pump. So we've got, again, the create equipment area here, and we can find now pumps. So we've got a few pumps. We've got a sump pump there. We've got a hose pump there. And you can see there's all these different parametric shapes that we can use, and these are all out of the box. I'm not done anything special. They're straight out of the box pumps that have been given to us. Okay, so I'm going to go with P003. Again, we can look at what pumps have already been used. Looks like I've used pump 2 twice for some reason. But we're going for pump 3 in this case, so it doesn't matter. Again, we can go through adjusting each of the sizes. You can see the letters there, SL, and you can see the dimension there on the preview, SL. So these parameters relate to the dimensions in the preview. And we can create that pump and place it down. So let's go with 10,000 tab 5 meters. Too many zeros that time. So let's pop that down there and move that back along the line. Let's just pop it somewhere like that for now. Let's go with, let's just put 15 like that. There we go. Perfect. Right. Okay. So there's my pump. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is we've got pump 3, nozzle 1, and it goes to the blind flange, this one, doesn't it? So it goes from pump 3 through the 2 valves to the blind flange. Okay, so perfect. And then we've got the other part which goes to the tank. That's nozzle 1. We can see there, if we hover over it, the nozzle number, and if we click on the shape, we can then click on the little pencil there and change the size. So we can say this is a 200mm nozzle, raised face, like so, and close. And we'll go with placing this now. So right click, place item. I'm going to snap it to my node, like so, and bring it off about 1.5 meters that way, bring it 4 meters that way, and we'll go for 7.5 meters that way. Okay, so now I've placed that pipe directly from my P&ID list, and if I hover over here, we can see it's given me all the information there for my pipe. I can go with placing my flange, place the blind flange, there it is, pop that on like so. That's my blind flange. I can go with placing my ball valve. Okay, so my ball valve, I can maybe pop that down here. Yeah, so I went with a total of 2.5, was it? Something like that, or 4. Well, let's just go with 2 meters there. So it pops it down 2 meters along that pipeline. And we can rotate the handle like so. We can also change the type of valve. We might want to change it to a raised face flange valve, like so. Yeah, if I move the valve off the pipe, you can see it repairs the pipe. If I move the valve back on the pipe, making sure I'm snapping to the nearest there, 2 meters again, it puts the valve back in the pipe and puts the flanges on, and it puts the gaskets on, and it also puts the bolt sets on. We have a look there, we can see we've got a bolt set. If I press escape, click on it again, we can see we've got a gasket. Yeah, we can see we've got a flange. Yeah, and we can see all the tagging has been picked up automatically. So that's perfect. So really, using the P&ID there, it's going to make life a lot easier for you. And we can put one down here. Let's go with 2 meters there. Yeah, and we can go up like so. Change it to a raised face type. Yeah, like so. There you go. Oh, I didn't want to do it as a check valve, did I? Silly me. Let's do that back to a ball valve. There it is. Yeah, you can also change the handle. You can see that we've got here the lever. So let's change that to one of these type, a T lever instead. Ooh, size is a little bit wrong. Let's go with 900, 1 meter. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Getting there, maybe 90. No, 500. Yeah, and let's go 500 there as well. Something like that. That's a bit better. So yeah, very easy to use. Breaking the pipe automatically, picking stuff straight from the P&ID, placing them straight into your 3D model. Really nice functionality there. It's all tagged up. The information is already populated. So now let's move to creating an isometric drawing of this pipeline. Okay. So isometrics here, we can see there's my pipes that I've got placed. Save this here, might need to do a quick refresh. There's my pipeline, and we no longer have any, at the moment we don't have any isometrics created for this pipeline. We can see if I click in here, we've got isometrics for this pipeline already created. Yeah, but we know we don't have any for this pipeline yet. So let's have a look at creating one of those. So I'll right click and select Production ISO. Okay, so it's selected the pipeline and click overwrite if existing. Well, there isn't any, but we can select that anyway. Select the revision letter and click Create. And what that's going to do now is in the background, it's going to create me a isometric drawing from my newly created pipeline, and it's going to populate that drawing with the bill of materials, the cut list and the weld list. These isometrics are completely customizable. You can have your own title block on them. You can have your own properties being populated in the title block. You can have your own specific tables with your own table headers and columns within. But you can see there we've got bolt sets, we've got our flanges, the size of the flanges, the schedule class of the flanges. Yeah, so we've got all that going on in here. Cut piece lengths. Oh, yeah, so the lengths there for the cut pieces, the diameters, the ends, types, all the welds that are involved. And you can see here we've got 10 welds. The welds have got diamond annotations on them. So it's telling you each weld with a red dot, like so. Again, these are completely customizable. Any colors, any symbols, any dimension styles you want to use, you can completely use your own styles there. Takes a little setup, but once it's done, and you get these isometrics produced automatically. You can see it's all tagged up. We've got item numbers there, so we now go through finding. We've also got so what we got there. So we've got some pipe. So yeah, that's the pipe. Item number 1. We've got there. Item number 7 is our ball valve. Yep, that's our ball valve. Item number 7. Item number 8 is our gate valve. Yes, that's our gate valve. Our cut piece lengths. Number 1. That's our number 1 there, the one with the greater than and less than annotation. Okay, so there's the cut piece lengths. So it's all done automatically for you. So once you've got that all set up, you can create isometrics really easily. You can even make a cup of tea whilst doing it. So let's have a quick look. Let's make a slight adjustment to this, shall we? What about we want to place our 100mm segment? Let's do that. So let's, first of all, let's just put a little spur off of here. You can see that I can easily put a T in just by clicking on the plus button and pulling a bit of pipe out. I can then go to place my 100mm, and you can see that it automatically puts in my reducer like so. Yeah, and as we were talking about earlier with nominal, obviously the segment has its own tag there. You can see the segment's 100 CS300 DW 2001, but the actual line group as a group has its own tag, and that's why we have nominal as well as normal size properties involved. So let's have a look now. Let's save this drawing. Let's close this one away, and let's recreate that isometric now. So production ISO, and overwrite existing. We don't need the old one anymore. Click create. So yeah, you can see now, obviously making adjustments to your design. You know, if you're doing this kind of drawing in AutoCAD, it's a big pain. You've got to redraw the whole drawing, and you've got to redevelop. We've got a bit of an overflow now, unfortunately, but that's okay. We've got to redevelop those tables and calculate everything again. And now we've got an overflow. So let's have a look. What's in our overflow here? It's just a weld list. So we've got too many welds essentially to fit on that sheet of paper. There you go. You can see now we've got the reducer in there. Yeah, there's our pipe. You can see that's a segment there, 100mm pipe there. We can see now we've got some 100mm pipes in our cut list there. We've got a square cut there. And we've now got extra fittings. For example, we've got our reducer in there. So it works really well. So let's now transfer across to our orthographic section here. Now we've got an ortho drawing already. There it is. That's our ortho drawing already. You can see there we've got a bit of materials there. So let's create another one. So let's create a new drawing. We'll call this Ortho 002 and click OK. Okay, so now we've got a new drawing. Let's place a new view. Click on that, click OK. Okay, so there's our view cube essentially. So the red area is where we're looking. So we're looking down on our model. So let's just have a look at the new bits that we've just created, like so, and bring that in like so. That's our 3D model. Maybe we'll just give it a little bit of space there, and we'll give it a little bit of space there, and we can retract that a little bit more. Retract that a little bit more, like so. Once we're happy, we can do a quick paper check. We can see that it's going to fit on the paper nicely. Okay, and we can click tick. Okay, and then we can place it on our page like so. And there's our model. We can start to annotate the model. Auto annotate. We can do equipment tag. Click on a piece of equipment and it picks up the tag of the equipment like so. Again, another equipment tag like so. We can do another auto annotate and do typing. What do we want? Full line number call out. Let's go for that. Pop that on there. There we go. Yeah. So we can tag it up all nicely. We can do maybe equipment tag for the vowels. Oh. Hand valve annotation, there it is. Like so. So it's picking all the information from the model and populating it in our orthographic. We can do an adjacent view. Let's do an adjacent view. So we're looking at the top. Let's do front view. Let's just pop that down there. That's our front view. We can probably retract that a little bit. We don't need such height on that. Move that up a bit. Yeah, so that's our front view of our pipe. Okay, and we can do a bill of materials as well. So we'll say I want a bill of materials of that view. Select bill of material table, click on the view, and create a bill of materials of that view, and we can see there all the parts: reducers, pipes, flanges, elbows, bolt sets. So a quick bill of materials we can create there. Again, you've got your title block, you've got your fields in there populating automatically from the project and drawing properties. So again, really nice and easy to work with, really nice and easy to create accurate information on your drawings. And of course, if we decide to, we could maybe move this pipe over here, save the drawing, look at our orthographic, and maybe update the view. This one here, click that button there, updates the view. Okay, we might need to update the bill of materials, click that one there, and it's actually already done. So really useful to be able to create those drawings and to quickly update them if there's been a change to your model. So as well as doing 3D piping, we've actually got some tools in Plant 3D to do structures as well. You can see I've got this structure over here. It's currently in the line mode, so let's just switch it to shape mode. So there's a structure like so. And it's just a basic addition to Plant 3D, which gives you the ability to create a simple structure, and it allows you to then model your Plant 3D model or your plant model around that structure. You can export that structure to advanced steel, put your connections on, but you know, if you're doing plant design, really you're just interested in what structure you've got to work around. So you've got some tools to create that structure. Let's just quickly create a simple structure here. I'm going to actually create a new grid. I'll use the same settings as before. I don't think we need that bit. I don't think we need that bit. And I will say a 3-point grid, and I will just track that point. Let's switch it on to endpoint. Yeah, and I'll just track that over here. Should we say 10 meters? Yeah, and then I'll just do there we go. So there's a small box grid that I'm using to now create a quick structure. So I'll put in a member from there to there. Yeah, I'll put another member from there to there. Put another member in from there to there. So yeah, you can see very nice and easy to work with. From there to there to there to there to create a simple structure. We can do some mitering maybe. We'll do a bit of mitering there and there. You can see it's put a miter in there and there, put a miter in there, there and there. Nice miter in there, there and there. We might want to trim it back a little bit, so we can use the cut back member. That can be the master. That could be the one we trim. Press enter, do it again. Press enter, do it again. Yeah, press enter, do it again. Yeah, so you can see the alignment maybe slightly out for some of those beams. Maybe we want those to be aligned slightly differently. So select there and there, edit the structure, change it to there, I think. Perfect. Again, that one and that one. Edit the structure. So right click, edit structure, change the alignment to there. Put a plate on. Just a standard plate, like so. That's a nice plate. You can change the type of plate. We can stick in some railings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could put in maybe a ladder. Yeah, let's do a ladder. Use the midpoint there, use the perpendicular point there, about 150 mil off. There's my ladder. So yeah, you can see how it's easy. There's some footings, maybe stick some footings on. Yeah, stick some footings on. Maybe use the midpoint instead. Midpoint there we go. Yeah, so you can see how easy it is to build up a nice structure. And again, it's just really to give you something to guide yourself around when you're creating your 3D model for your plant. It's not there as a fabrication tool for structures, which is why you have the export tool here to export it to Advanced Steel to then create a fully connected structure, which you can then create fabrication drawings from, with bill of materials and connection drawings, etc. Yep, so finally I'd like to just show you the report creator. So let's open up the report creator. And this is the report creator. You can browse to any project, and we can see here all my plant projects here. I can go in here, find my project, open my project, and then we can decide what, and again these are all out of the box reports that we can create here. I've tweaked them slightly to include the Man and Machine logo, but that's it. It's just an out of the box report there. And you can see we've got tags, size, spec, manufacturer, etc. Yeah, so that's a valve list. What do we want? A 3D parts list. Maybe let's have a look at that. 3D parts list. Okay, and then we can have a preview of that. Yeah, so you've got pipe, elbows, reducers, flanges, gates, valves, ball valves. So that comes again out of the box. You can customize again these reports how you want. You have your logo where you want. You can call them a bit of materials or parts list, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and you can quickly and easily generate those reports. Obviously, if you make a change to your design, you're going to be able to rerun those reports at the click of a button. So that brings me to the end of my demo. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you've got any questions, please feel free to contact Man and Machine. Thanks again. Cheers.